What's up, people of YouTube? This one, I'm bringing you guys another video to the channel, and today we are going to be talking about some gaming-related news. This is something new to my channel. I haven't really done anything quite like this before. If it is something that you guys end up liking, just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to make a couple of videos like this a week, just kind of depending on what happens. Now, clearly this video is based on leaks and rumors and stuff that have come out, so if there isn't a whole lot that happens, probably won't make a video. I'm going to stick to games that I particularly am interested in, so I'm not going to cover like just random things because I would have no interest in even making videos like this. But ultimately, if you guys do enjoy content like this, let me know down in the comment section. Hit the like button. Let's try to get this video to 5 likes. I'd really appreciate that. And moving forward, I might cover more things along the lines of this. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So first off here, it really wouldn't be a Ubisoft event without there being some sort of leaks or something releasing about the game that isn't supposed to be out there yet prior to the actual announcement. So coming up here on the 12th, there's supposed to be a Ubisoft event held to give new information about games that have already been announced, as well as probably announce some new games. But we had a huge leak come out last night about Far Cry 6. This was from the Hong Kong PlayStation Store. They had a listing go up. It leaked the cover art, the setting, as well as the release date for the upcoming Far Cry 6. So the leak confirms that the actor Giancarlo Esposito, I probably butchered that, I'm sorry, will be playing this game's villain. He is also known for roles such as Gus from Breaking Bad. The title itself is going to be launching both on PlayStation 4 as well as Xbox One. You'll also be able to upgrade to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X for free, so you don't have to pay any additional charge for that, which is really nice in my opinion. The leaked description of the game is as follows. Welcome to Yara, a tropical paradise frozen in time, as the dictator of Yara, Anton Castillo, is intent on restoring his nation back to its former glory by any means, with his son Diego following in his bloody footsteps. Their ruthless oppression has ignited a revolution. So, in my opinion, Yara greatly resembles Cuba, or a Cuba-like setting, hence the term the tropical paradise frozen in time. I'd imagine there's probably going to be a lot of 1950s, 1960s themed era vehicles and weapons, because if you guys don't know, Cuba was pretty much banned from all sorts of different kinds of like imports and exports from other countries, especially America, so they were kind of stuck with a lot of old-time vehicles. So I would expect to see something like that. This definitely hints at a Cuba era, which I think is really cool. I'm totally down for something like that. But it says that we're going to be playing as Danny Rojas, a local Yaran, and became a guerrilla fighter to liberate the nation. So that sounds pretty interesting. Sounds like we're just going to be a rebel fighter. I do like the idea that there is more of an in-depth story and character. At least it seems like there's going to be more depth behind the character you're playing as, and you're not just kind of this random person that has no substance, which I feel like the last couple of games really struggled with. So it's good to see that that's not the case with this one. The description claims that this is the largest Far Cry playground to date, which makes me think that we're going to be seeing a much larger map than previous titles. Again, I'm totally okay with this. I'm kind of a sucker when it comes to just big open maps. Like, honestly, you don't even have to have that much stuff in there. I just like the idea of having tons of area to explore and to do things in. So the larger map definitely interests me. The release date that was set on this listing was for the 18th of February 2021. We will likely hear more about this title on the 12th during the Ubisoft conference. I'm really looking forward to it. I've always liked the Far Cry games. I'm very, very excited to see what's to come for this. But these aren't the only leaks that we got. In the last couple of days, we've gotten leaks for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Ubisoft has had tons of leaks come out, which is kind of fishy in my opinion. I kind of think it's staged, but Assassin's Creed Valhalla had a boss fight video get leaked on the internet. So I can't show the footage because obviously it'll probably get taken down, and I don't want any of that to happen. Also, the information that I have for this section of the video, I pulled directly from IGN. So just so you know, if it sounds familiar, like you read it somewhere before, it's probably because I pulled it from IGN. That's where I got my info. But this fight scene shows Ivor fight and defeat Cordelia, one of the daughters of King Larion? I don't know how to pronounce that either. These characters appear to be from Shakespeare's tragedy King Lear, based on the legend of Lear of Britain. Again, I probably butchered all of that. He had 3 daughters, Goneril, Reagan, and Cordelia. So that's cool. I have absolutely no idea what any of that means. I'm completely clueless. But what this does tell us is that these fights are definitely more of the mystical type, very similar to the Cyclops fights from the previous Assassin's Creed game, Odyssey, which I'm cool with. I think that's awesome. Also, in the gameplay, Ivor refers to Cordelia as the demon goddess. She wears a skull headdress covered with arrows and stuff, so that's definitely hinting at the fact that it's going to be some sort of a mystical battle and not necessarily like the main storyline, which again, I'm completely cool with. She also has abilities such as teleportation. She can call in lightning bolts and fire glowing copies of herself to fight you, I guess. So all that stuff, very interesting. It's cool to see that that's returning. I do like the mystical side of things, the mythology behind all of that time period. I think it's just a nice addition, and it kind of fits into the Assassin's Creed theme as long as it doesn't play too heavily into the story. Now, we do have a list of different things that the gameplay itself showed. So Valhalla includes a side quest system called Mysteries. For each section of the map, aside from Mysteries, there will be also a wealth and secrets to find in each section of the map. Don't really know what that means. Wealth and secrets, I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of exploring, and I think they're going to do what the previous two games did, where there was lots of question marks and things to go up to, and I'm cool with that. It does get a little tedious sometimes, but for the most part, I think that's cool that they're keeping that system moving forward. Boss battles appear to have phases with mini combat cutscenes to complement the flow of the battle. So to me, this sounds like when you get to the boss fights and you get them down to a certain health, it's going to transition to a cutscene where there's like, you know, a little transition of fighting and stuff before it goes to the next part of the battle. I think that's fine. I think that's cool. I know that I'm in the minority when it comes to this, but I do enjoy cutscenes. Well choreographed, high quality cutscenes in games, I enjoy that. Ivor has 3 bars in the bottom left corner of the screen, which pertain to their adrenaline, health, and stamina. Adrenaline is used as a resource burn to use the abilities in battle. So I would assume the adrenaline is very similar to what was in Odyssey, where you use your ability and you have to continue to do damage to enemies and kill enemies to build that back up before you can do abilities again. Again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think that's a fine system to move forward with. Ivor can eat mushrooms mid-battle to increase the ability gauge. Okay, that's interesting. The inventory screen in Valhalla looks almost identical to that of Odyssey, and Ivor will carry around a rations bag, presumably to fill health on the go. Also, no reason to really change the way that the screen was in Odyssey. It works well. I did like it, and I think that is probably the standard that they should move forward with, at least for the time being. The skills screen shows how you will increase Ivor's stats and unlock new abilities with 3 styles, Raven, Bear, and Wolf on offer, similar to Odyssey's Hunter, Warrior, and Assassin build system. I personally didn't mess around too much with like kitting out one particular build in Odyssey, so I don't know a whole lot about that, but I would assume it's just very similar to the tier system and the perks and how you can assign certain abilities to your character. There's also a separate abilities screen where it's revealed that Ivor will unlock new skills using books of knowledge found in play at heavily guarded monasteries and military camps while searching for territorial wealth. So that's cool. I like the idea of having in-game things that you can find to kind of add to your overall grind factor, if that makes sense. And finally, the last thing that I have here for AC Valhalla is that you can have up to 8 abilities assigned at once. So lots of options, lots of different things that you can do in the game. It's a lot of it's basic information that we kind of expected for Assassin's Creed, at least compared to the last 2 games that we released. So there's nothing like major here, but it is a cool little insight to have for the future of the game, and I'm really excited to see what they release here in a couple days in regards to it. Okay, and the last little bit of information that we have here is about Watchdogs Legion. So we had some screenshots leak about the game, and I'm going to throw these up here. They don't show a whole lot of information outside of what we already knew, but it does give you a little bit of insight of some of the weapons and some of the abilities that the characters themselves have. So the first screenshot that I have here is somebody called Brian Casey. He is listed as a spy. He's using a silenced MP9 with a spy watch that jams enemy weapons and a spy car which has missiles in a cloak. That stuff to me is all, it's cool to know, it's cool to see. I kind of expected things like this to be in the game. I'm not like, these screenshots don't necessarily blow me away as far as like expectation. I kind of see everything that I already assumed was going to be in the game to an extent. So take this as you will. Maybe you guys are going to be more excited about this than I am. I am excited to get the game. I do look forward to playing it, but I'm not overly hyped about what these screenshots show in particular. Now you can see on the left-hand side, there's operatives that have a little timer there. I'm assuming that means that there's 6 minutes left until that operative can come back onto your team. I believe that they have been arrested. That's kind of what that insinuates here, is that they're arrested. And keep in mind that in this game, if one of your operatives and part of your team dies, they die forever. They do not come back. they are completely done for, which I think is a really, really cool feature to add to a game. And I'm interested to see how that works, and like if there's an immense amount of duplicates, you know, like if there's a bunch of duplicate operators where one dies and you can find somebody who's the exact same, not as cool. But if they're very unique and they die and you lose that, I think that's a really, really cool feature, and I'm very interested to see how that works in the future gameplay. So the second screenshot that we have here shows Phil Awa, a football hooligan, it says. He says he's on active duty. It also shows that he has the rally cry, so you can call friends to fight. I'm assuming that he is one of the people that you can call. I don't necessarily think that you play as him, or maybe you can, I'm not exactly sure. And then it also shows a ability called Tough Drunk, which says take less damage. So I assume that that means that if you get him drunk, that he takes less damage in a fight, which is cool, and it's fun. You know, it's not too serious, and I can appreciate that. It also looks like his weapon that he has down there is some sort of a stun gun. That's what I would assume. And he doesn't have any lethal abilities, so I would assume that his fighting skill is probably where he thrives, especially being able to take less damage while drunk. So the last one that we have here is a screenshot of what appears to be actual gameplay. Somebody who is dressed up as a police officer looking at another police officer, and it shows that the correctional officer here is policing till 4 p.m., a certain time, which is really interesting that it shows that. It shows what they're wearing and potentially what you can wear as a disguise to get into the police station. As you can see in the map in the bottom left, it shows this red outline, which to me means that it's blocked off unless you have a certain uniform or some way to access that building. It also shows their weapon, light melee weapon, and bailout, team arrest, release. So I don't know if that means that like you can use them to get into the building or use them to release your team or whatever the case is. I think that's really a really cool feature, and I just think that this game in general is going to have a lot of new elements to it that we haven't seen in a game before, as well as the traditional standard, you know, Watchdogs type theme. So that's pretty much everything that we have as far as information for Watchdogs Legion from the leaks that were released. If you guys did like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you enjoy this kind of content, please let me know, and again, I will make more videos. I'd like to know what you guys think about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the leaks that we had around that, as well as the Far Cry 6 information. I think out of all of these, I am most excited about Far Cry 6, just based off the leaks that we got, the setting and everything, and I'm also really excited for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Anyways, guys, again, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, and deuces.